Clutching his wounded arm, a mortal banker flees the Marchmont auction into the depths of downtown. He bumps into concerned passersby, offering to call an ambulance, and annoyed executives telling him to fuck off and die. Dripping blood, panting heavily, the man is gripped by a spasm of pain and stumbles off the sidewalk into traffic, narrowly avoiding being flattened by a speeding muscle car. He dodges out of the way at the last second and leans up against the wall of an alleyway to catch his breath. Feral yellow eyes glint in the darkness. The man's anguished groans are swiftly cut short by the sounds of claws raking open soft, mortal flesh, and the telltale scrape of a body being dragged across the pavement.
Jesus Christ.
Cool.
Dragger watch! Dragger watch!
Are you sure this is okay?
Don't quit on me, Lucas. Don't quit on me.
Your nightmare is only beginning. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. No, travelers. How do I keep messing this up? Good evening, travelers, and welcome back to the Court of the Jester Princes. I am your storyteller, Jonas Tintenseher, and we are playing Vampire the Masquerade V5 Midnight Gravity. Joining me tonight, our low-key La Sombra special guest, Meghan Martin.
Hello. Chaz here with another Seattle fun fact.
Woo!
There are more dogs and cats than children in Seattle.
Ooh.
According to the 2010 U.S. Census data, Seattle residents included 110,000 children and 180,000 domesticated canines, which are not cats.
That's true.
Cats are more popular still, with 190,000 felines living in Seattle homes.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
I had to keep reading. That's a lot of cats.
That's almost 4 times as many pets as kids. I thought it would be a little bit more. That's like a lot more.
That's a lot more.
Some would call it utopia.
Our threat, there's only like 700,000 people in Seattle. There are more than half as many dogs and anyway.
Seattle's all cats.
Our threadbare thin blood, Casey Reardon.
I play Mathias Wilson, and are you thirstin' for a Thurston fact?
You know it, always.
Always.
Howard Thurston died on April 13th at his oceanside apartment in Miami Beach, Florida.
Oh.
Oh,
Cool.
he was a Florida man. That makes
Unlike
sense.
Reggie, who's about to die.
No, that's not going to happen.
We can wait it's only March. Just wait a couple weeks. It's almost April.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Our mutilated Malkavian, Sky Swanson.
God, I should have cranberry. I didn't think I was going to go next. Anyway, African lungfish have some fascinating adaptations. They have 2 lungs and can breathe air. This is a vital feature since they live in floodplains and waterways that often dry up. To manage this life-threatening situation, the lungfish secretes a thin layer of mucus around itself that dries into a cocoon. It can live out of water in this cocoon for up to a year, breathing through its lungs until rain refills its waterway. Sort of like hibernating.
I swear to God, you've done this one before.
Reggie.
Yeah, that one sounds familiar.
No,
to me
there's
too.
just a lot of fish with mucus. I
did I?
was just about to
Is
ask.
there just a lot of
I have
don't
a
think you've
list
done
of all the
lungfish.
ones I did. It's
I
not on
swear to
there.
God, you've done the mucus cocoon.
I just could have swore it was the
I
mucus
did eel
that was the
mucus.
thing.
There's eels that have mucus.
I'm pretty
Catfish
sure we
also
did
have
that.
mucus.
Why are they
I-
also mucusy? They're underwater.
That was my question, really.
Aren't they lubricated enough?
2, 3, 4, 5,
I think that's what helps with it.
That goes back to the question of is it wet if it's in
What
water?
episode is this?
This is 17.
This is 17? I am missing one fact. Maybe I already did this one.
I swear I've heard you say the thing about refilling the waterway.
You might have just heard Sky say this fact before.
No, this is all staying in, though.
The lungfish discourse.
No, I definitely haven't done this one.
Okay.
The lungfish course.
Comment if
Hey,
you've heard it.
listeners, leave us a 1-star review if I repeated that fact.
No, please, no.
Our humane Hikata, Andrew Frost.
My name is Antonio Stregano, and I can't eat another bite.
Yum,
Nice.
yum.
Well, I mean, you're only hunger one. You could.
You could easily have
fine.
it.
It wasn't until what happened last time around.
You're fine. You're just a little quirky.
And our traumatized Toreador, Rachel Kordell.
I'm Mars, and tonight's song is You Really Got Me by Olivia Jean.
Last time on Midnight Gravity, Reggie's sire, Ajax Volantis, attacked the Marchmont Group's auction of occult artifacts, seeking an alchemical grimoire. In the ensuing gunfight, several mortals were slain, including 2 of Jack's cronies. A combination of Mathias's alchemical mist, Antonio's marksmanship, and Chastity's shadowy arms drove the Kindred ringleader himself to flee. Mathias and Mars both suffered from flashbacks induced by the incursion, while Reggie's momentary bout of bravery left the room ringing, with several more gunshots echoing from the hallway. To set the scene a little before we get back into things, Mathias, you have been rudely shoved to stand in front of the last crony who has surrendered, dropped their weapon. Antonio, you are picking yourself up after your hunger frenzy. Chastity, you are cradling Mars behind the chairs where you were taking cover. Reggie, you are a puddle of gore.
Go.
Oh, no.
And of the other residents in the room, there are several dead mortals, including most of the auction staff. The auctioneer is lying in a pool of his own blood, some of which has stained Mathias's hands. There are maybe, I'm going to say 3 or 4 living mortals who are still in the room, just beginning to kind of rise up, like, is it over? Is it safe to stand up? Or am I going to get shot? What's going on? Did that guy just tear out that guy's throat? Imelda, who had taken cover, is also collecting herself. Luvinia is kind of returning from where she had stepped aside to take cover, and the grizzled man with the white hair is as well. Antonio, I will just remind you, you are in control of yourself, but you are still suffering from a harm compulsion. Now, despite the name, you are not literally compelled to destroy the final one of Ajax's thugs, but you do think it would be better off if you killed them. You have a 2-die penalty on any action that doesn't involve doing just that.
Gotcha.
Mathias, you are still impaired.
Yep.
As Maria Palma shoves you toward this crony, Mathias, she goes over to the auctioneer, bites her tongue, and spits some blood into his mouth, hoping perhaps to heal his wound or bring him back, but the body does not move. You see some of the flesh starting to vaguely knit together, but the breathing does not resume. She curses under her breath, stands up, points at Luvinia, and says, "Hey, watch the door." And Luvinia says, "I don't take orders from you." And you see Maria Palma, this tan-skinned woman with kind of dark auburnish, reddish-brown hair. Her eyes go wider than dinner plates, and she bares her fangs in a snarl and says, "We have cops on the way, 6 dead, and a vault full of magic bullshit. If you don't want to bring the Second Inquisition down on our heads, you will do as I goddamn say and watch the door." And you see Luvinia kind of tense up, as if perhaps resisting a fury frenzy of her own. But then she narrows her eyes, and without another word, she turns to stand outside. Maria seethes for a second, and then turns to the grizzled man with the white hair and says, "Arvoitus, gather up the kine and fix them.
Now we know his name.
3 of you, do any of you have Dominate?"
Oh, I have Dominate.
You raise a finger, she nods, she says, "Help him make sure they remember tonight differently." And Arvoitus, the white-haired Tremere, without a word as well, just kind of goes over, starts rounding up the remaining mortals. One of them tries to run away. Not run. One of them tries to back off and be like, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna head out." And you hear just a single word in this extremely deep voice just say, "Don't." And the mortal freezes in place. And Arvoitus takes eye contact with them and starts muttering under his breath to rewrite their memories of the event. Those of you who are not unconscious, what do you do?
Am I unconscious?
Well,
I'm
okay.
dissociating.
You're
I
conscious
think.
but dissociating. So
I don't think
mean,
I'm present.
I leave that up to you when that kind of, the immediate, the trigger for that flashback has left the room and the chaos has died down. So you're going to start coming out of it in a moment.
Sure. So I guess, Chaz, if you're like...
See, I was holding you.
Yeah.
I was cradling you. And I'm wondering at what point you started waking up, because I do feel like helping to like use a little bit of cloud memory to do something, but I also don't want to like... I'm not just gonna like lay you down on the floor.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, I imagine like maybe you would try to like either like shake me awake or wake.
I
Like,
give you like a little like the little like cheek slap pat, like hey, rise and shine. Hello.
so sure. So for that, she kind of blinks her eyes a couple times and she looks at you and she's like, hi, what's happening?
Oh, a lot of things. How are you feeling?
You see her eyes kind of survey the room and they, go back to you, and she kind of stumbles through her words, but she's like, I'm okay. I'm fine.
Okay. Do you think that you could sit up on your own?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think you could sit in a chair?
Yeah.
Do you want to sit down
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, of course. Sure. And she kind of like pulls herself away from you and kind of like sits on a chair, and you see that she's still like surveying the room as if she is like, taking each part of the room as something different, and then her eyes shift and then she's looking at something else, and that's kind of all you can kind of get from her face.
Okay, so Chaz is going to take off her jacket and
Mhm.
she's going to kind of drape it over you like a blanket. It's not as motherly as it sounds. It's actually very awkward.
No, yeah,
But
no.
just like kind of tuck you in, and then she's going to go assist.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so you follow up Arvoidus's domination, and basically he takes on rewriting the events of the night in general, and you do a little touch-up at the end, and also the last couple minutes. Just that didn't happen either. No one told you that. And with each one, this takes a few minutes each because he has to kind of craft the story for each of them. Cloud memory, luckily for you, is free. You do see him kind of straining himself to expend this power of the blood. With each one, after that, they just... the mortals just kind of sit down in a daze and just kind of take on, and like as their brains reconstruct the memories around them. Antonio, Mathias, what are you guys doing?
I think Antonio slowly starts moving towards the last remaining of Ajax's men.
Mm-hmm. You see Mathias is there kind of like
Yeah.
tense and strained, and the last man on the floor, there's one man and one woman, both dead, and this man is just like got his hands up, he's like, "Ooh."
Help me tie him.
Right. And I guess we attempt to bind his arms, I guess.
I was gonna say, yeah, what with?
I don't really have anything. The innards of his companions.
50 feet of rope is pretty standard to the explorer pack.
I'll pull the shoelaces out of one of the corpses on the floor.
Sure, that's decent enough for a little bun.
A place like this would have a security office, and a security office would have zip ties.
That's true if you want to go out looking.
If only they had any useful security guards here. But yeah.
They had that one.
No.
He gave Reggie a gun. That turned out pretty well.
Sure.
The problem with mortal security is typically not equipped to deal with kindred.
Exactly my point.
Shoelaces, I think it's good enough to at least put his hands together.
Yeah.
Not very sturdy, but yeah, it's something. I won't make you roll for that. You do that.
Oh, thank you. And the guy's just standing there, basically?
Yeah, you look at him. I won't even make you roll for this either. You kind of look. You see, like, he looks high. Like his eyes are wild and darting around. His face is flushed. He's kind of breathing heavily. And he's like trying to start sentences, but they're not going anywhere. He's just like,
As he's trying to formulate words to come out, I think Antonio just kind of grabs him by the front of his shirt and just tosses him into the line of empty chairs sitting off to the side for the auction.
He stumbles. He falls in the chair and just kind of slumps over.
I see. I don't think he'd do anything other than that for now.
Okay.
I think he understands that he doesn't want this man to be alive right now, but at the same time, he knows that Maria Palma wants a word, and he knows better than to fuck with Palma.
Wise. Mathias, yeah.
I was going to say, Mathias would probably still make his way over to the guy, even though he's tied up in a chair right now. He was told to keep an eye on this guy, and he doesn't necessarily want his distance to be in question. But while he goes over there, he is going to just kind of squat down to get eye level with him and just say, "Tell me exactly why Ajax wanted you here."
You look at this guy again. He looks like coming down off of some high. He sort of looks around like he's trying to find your eye line and can't see exactly where you are. And just whispers under his breath, "I'm not as good at this guy. The blood is long, the blood is deep. Oh, Seattle dreams, but it does not sleep." And looks up at you again, just like, I am book.
Mathias is going to look back towards where it was probably sitting on the pedestal before, and is it still there?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't get to it, so no one's touched it. They would have, but they got quite handily stomped, all things considered.
Yeah. I don't know if Mathias has necessarily registered that it, or if anybody else has seen that the book is still there after Ajax left, so I don't know if he exactly wants to try and take it at this point.
Sure.
As much as I want to.
Well, while you're considering that, you look back over your shoulder, you see the book, you look back at the man, and as you're perhaps about to say something or stand up, you feel an incredibly strong hand grip your shoulder like a vise, the claws digging into your skin, enough to give you 1 superficial damage.
God damn it.
And Maria Palma throws you back on the ground, basically just putting you on your ass. And she's like, "What the fuck did you say to him?"
I was getting him ready for you, of course.
Turns to the guy, just doesn't even say anything first, just slaps him hard across the face and says, "Why are you here?" And he mumbles something under his breath again, and then says, Book. Starts crying. Maria tisks, and you see her kind of concentrate for a moment, and the aura of dread surrounding her fades, and she grabs him by the collar again and is like, "Why the fuck were you hanging around Volantis, and what does he want with the book?" The man just kind of like lolls his head and then like kind of reaches down, tries to indicate something downward. She like looks down, pats down his shirt, his pants, and pulls out of his pocket a small plastic baggie full of blue capsules. And she looks at this and looks at him and is like, "All right." Turns to, I guess Mathias and Antonio are closest, turns to Antonio, completely overlooking Mathias.
Yep.
Do you pick yourself up or do you stay on the ground?
I pick myself up.
Okay. Turns to Antonio and says, You know what this is?
Can I make a medicine check to find out?
Yeah, it's a low difficulty, but with your compulsion, you should still make a check. Go ahead and roll intelligence medicine -2 dice.
And that would be 4 successes.
4 successes. You are pretty confident that that is a capsulized version of the synthetic vitae that you guys found in Jimmy's lair.
Wow.
Oh. And that's not public knowledge yet.
Not as far as you know.
Shit.
You guys took all of it, so
Yeah.
anyone who might have followed up on finding Jimmy's haven would not have found any.
I think Mathias is looking, he's probably behind Antonio, but he is just kind of looking at Antonio like, shit.
I'm not exactly sure.
Then allow me to educate you. This is contraband. And she wheels on Mathias, almost spitting, and she says, "Thin blood contraband. So why the fuck did they have it, and why the fuck are you here?"
I go where I'm told.
Who told you to come here?
He's with us.
And who told you to come here?
Can I ask, how much of a scene is this? Like, is the room calmed? Like are people seeing this happen, or no?
Other than, like, Arvoidus muttering to the mortals, this is the only thing happening in the room.
Okay, so Chaz is actually gonna, like, rush over and kind of like, hey, what's going on over here?
Well, I have no idea what Ajax Volantis wants with this book, and I have no idea what he has to do with this bullshit, but I know that it comes from them. And if this one isn't talking, then I am going to have to start cracking heads.
Okay.
I don't mind cracking heads.
I'm just gonna go ahead and try to take things down a notch over here. They're with me. We're here for Olga. We want nothing to do with this book. We're actually here for the weird smoky thing that started all this, so you can crack all the heads you want, just maybe not these ones.
She again looks at Mathias and just growls. Says, "You've never seen this before?"
I can honestly say I've never seen that before in my life. Or unlife.
Okay. Technically true.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen it in capsule form.
You've never seen that before. Why don't you go ahead and roll me Charisma Subterfuge. -2 dice for your impairment.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure whether I should give you the 2 dice for Loquacious Olympian. This is a thin blood matter, but it's also Maria Palma.
Yeah, that's fair. Don't give it to me. It's fine.
We're not going to give it to you.
No, I'm going to fail this. That's 1 success.
On 1 success, she will not crack your head. But she will put her hand back on your shoulder, dig her fingers in. You see also, like, her hand is still covered in blood up to the, like, halfway down her forearm from where she put it through that guy's chest.
Yeah.
And she grips your shoulder again, piercing in. I won't give you another damage, but the pain stings. And she says, "Talk."
I am on the outside of this. No one will talk to me because I'm associated with you.
What do you know then?
Fuck. I really don't want to give this bitch any information. Some of this stuff we found at Jimmy's. Bags broken. I'm sure if you sent anybody to check it out, you saw a bunch of it spilled on the ground.
Jimmy hid this.
Or something like it. I haven't had a chance to look at any of it.
If I find out, Wilson, that you are involved with Volantis or any of the Duskborn responsible for this, I will take you apart and put you back together every night for the rest of your miserable unlife. Should have done it when I had the chance. She shoves you again, and knocking you into a chair, pockets the blue capsules, and goes about starting to drag bodies out of the way and collect the dropped weapons and things like that.
I think at this point is when Mars is starting to come around and rolls her head at the party that's collected in the middle of the room. And she sees 1, 2, 3. Where's Reggie?
We ask that a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
I assume he went outside.
He went outside, nobody was keeping an eye on the Malkavian?
Wait, I start to get up. I take my jacket and try to put it back on. And I'm like, I'm gonna go find her.
You're going out.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that. So
Yeah, that's true. No, but you're going to leave the room. Okay. Is anyone going with Mars?
No.
I don't think so right now. I think Antonio's just staring at this thug.
Chastity, would you see Mars heading out to look for Reggie? Would you go with her?
No. I think that I'm staying in here to see what's going on with all the artifacts and the action, unfortunately.
That's fine. No. So Mars, you step outside, and yeah, the door immediately opens, and you see, first of all, a mortal man in a security guard's outfit, standing just a little bit of ways in the hallway, kind of up against the wall with just a completely blank expression on their face, not moving, barely breathing. You see Luvinia, who is wearing like a dark navy suit, off-white kind of cream-colored shirt and some gold jewelry, just kind of standing with her arms folded over Reggie, who almost looks intact. Their lower body and torso are pretty much fine, but they are drenched in their own blood, and the skin of their neck and collarbone has been torn open, revealing cords of raw muscle, like an anatomical diagram, as well as the lower half of their face has been crushed. Their jaw is caved in, and you see that there are teeth kind of scattered all around them. And as this image kind of comes into focus, you hear this deep, bassy rumbling in the back of your head that starts to swell and put pressure on your ears and back of your skull, and the pool of blood under Reggie almost starts to extend outward and thin into spikes that grow and flex like spider legs crawling up the walls.
No, Reggie! And I jump down and I try to grab her and I start to pick her up and I look over her face and I'm just absolutely beside myself and what happened? What happened to her? And I look up at Lavinia.
Lavinia kind of thinks, and you see her eyes. Her eyes are actually glossy right now. There's sort of a thin white shadow that she kind of shakes her head and looks out and looks. I thought this one came in with you. I think that the one with the tattoos might have run into him on the way out.
No. Am I able to tell if, this is recoverable? Just looking at her in this moment for me.
So when a kindred meets the final death, their body ages to their true age, which can typically reduce them to a rotting corpse, skeleton, or pile of ash. Reggie is so young that if they had met their final death, they would probably look something like this.
Hey. Yeah, okay. So Mars looks Reggie over and is just no. Melody, no. I couldn't. Somebody, we need help. We need to do something. We need. And just continues to sob, pretty much.
You guys probably heard Mars shriek immediately when she came out, and then you hear her sobbing a little bit. Would anyone follow outside?
I was gonna say, I don't think Antonio's of proper mind to do that.
Yeah, I don't think Mathias is moving. I'm impaired.
I'm just interested in what's happening in the room. So
Sure. Otherwise Lavinia will kind of lean down and help pick Reggie up and bring them back into the room.
Lavinia is going to try and take Reggie from me.
No, not take. She'll help. She'll hold the door open and be like, "Get him inside."
And she is just like, yeah, and picks her up and I guess we'll bring Reggie inside and lay them down, I guess, in the room.
Yeah, on the floor or on some chairs?
Probably on the floor because you don't they would fall off the chairs potentially.
You don't want to get that on the chairs.
I don't know. I just, so, we bring Reggie in the room and put her down and Mars is just all over it. She goes and she cuts into her wrist with one of her fangs and goes to put her wrist to Reggie's mouth to feed her some Vitae. Unless someone stops her.
Mouth?
Yes.
There's not much of a mouth left.
to wherever the jaw would be.
The opened jaw? Sure.
The open jaw. The mouth hole.
There's a tongue sticking out. All the teeth are gone.
Yeah, it's not good.
She has begun to cry at this point too, so
bloody tears running down your cheeks.
Mm.
Yeah, funnily enough, Ajax does not deal aggravated damage, so this is just a ton of superficial, but it is quite ugly. Yeah, so you cut open your wrist with a fang and try to drip a few drops of Vitae into Reggie's open mouth.
Come on, please, Melody. I'm sorry.
You are staring at them and hoping for them to rise. Mars, you may increase your hunger by 1. Reggie, you may reduce yours by 1. And Reggie, I also need you to test for frenzy.
Cool.
Your willpower plus a third of your humanity, so a total of 6 dice, I believe.
All right.
3
successes. As we have discovered, that is the difficulty, not 2, for resisting frenzy at the taste of blood, while at hunger 4 or higher. So you are, once again, for the second time this night, you are kind of brought out of this comatose state, well, I shouldn't say comatose, corpse-like state in this case, by this overpowering, smelling salts-like scent of sweet, tangy, coppery perfume, blood. It's not exactly clear. And you feel a few drops of that most delectable of treats flow down your battered throat. And your eyes kind of flicker and the facsimile of mortality returns to animate your undead vessel.
Oh my god. You're okay. Oh my gosh.
My jaw is still all messed up, right? Or am I?
Yeah. You can at best groan and make very poor mashed syllables.
Yeah, I think that's just what Reggie just kind of like gurgles there, and just more blood flows from their open mouth, which is basically just a tongue sticking out right now, and they just kind of cling to Mars there and just get blood all over them.
Yep. She is totally just happy to see that you are conscious, and she holds on to you. Now, our relationship, as we've kind of described, is Mars is kind of parental to you, but not super parental. She's kind of understood that you've wanted to keep a distance, and she's, respected that. But in this moment, it's like that barrier is down, and she's just entirely a mother figure to you. And is just like absolutely like just wants to make sure that you're okay and protect you in this moment. You may hear her mutter, Melody, I'm so sorry. I didn't protect you. I'm sorry. And you can take that as you will, but yeah.
I was going to say, the first thing that you hear upon returning to consciousness is Mars saying the word melody. And from that word, a song springs into your mind. Just kind of a faint, distant, haunting sort of piano that plays a few measures before dissipating as the pain and hunger take over your senses. The rest of you see Mars bring in Reggie, and they seem to wake up. Maria Palma looks over at the mess and is just like, how are we going to get you all out of here? You hear sirens foot of the building. The cops will be here soon.
If I may, our listeners and our coterie love Reggie very, very much. Chaz just met her,
of course,
and doesn't really think of her as anything other than a canary in a coal mine for this little mission that we're on.
Oh, good word.
But she is very interested in these blue Vitae pills that she just saw and the book.
Yes, please get those away from Maria.
And so I think you said that they're in her pocket, right?
She puts them in a pocket of her suit jacket, yes.
Suit jacket. Cool. And is she at this point, has she kind of gone off to mill with other people, or is she in earshot? Because I can work with either of those.
Their whole room is in earshot.
Okay.
She's not standing near you. She's assembled the bodies and is trying to fix the crime scene, basically, to remove evidence of the unusual, as it were. She checks in on the mortals. Orvoidus reports that they've all been adjusted properly. And she makes sure that the vault, the storage behind the stage where the rest of the items are being kept, is secure.
Define secure.
It has physical and electronic locks on them that were being used to keep them in storage while they were being brought in and out.
Okay.
So the dome of smoke is actually in there. You don't walk away from an auction with the thing. It gets sent to you later.
I was also wondering about that.
Yeah, so that's been registered to Olga's account. Presumably the Marchmont group will get that in eventually, maybe, who knows. And she probably, it will also pick up the book and try to, actually no, she can't put it back in the storage because she doesn't know how, so she just
Where is the book at this moment?
Under her arm.
Under her arm, and the pills are in her pocket.
Why does she get all the cool stuff?
Okay.
Yep. No, I'm sorry. I won't. I did want to make Casey groan, but she needs to have her hands free to manage stuff. So she has not touched the book. She wants to but can't. So the pills are in her pocket. The book is still on the pedestal.
How visible is the pedestal? With everything kind of going on.
It's central and on the middle of the stage. The book is not necessarily the book is just a book. So you could glance at the pedestal, and if an extra 3 inches of material were removed from the top of it, that might not be obvious at a glance, unlike the glass dome of smoke. But it is in plain view.
So I'm wondering if I could maybe use my arms of armament again and see if I can make the book float off without being noticed.
Okay. This is the same scene because I've kept Antonio's compulsion, so your arms are still active. So if you can get her attention somehow, that may be quite plausible. I will say that the stage is the most well-lit area of the room, so you may also need someone to cast shadows in that direction.
We need a plan.
You need a plan. You need coordination. Or you could try without the shadows part, but I would give you make a slightly higher difficulty.
Then if she's out of earshot, I am going to confer with Antonio and Mathias.
Sure, you can whisper.
And I'm gonna say, hey, psst, psst, psst. Can you guys hear me?
What?
I think it takes a little bit more than that to get Mathias' attention right now.
He's distracted.
No, that's fair. Hey,
What?
you want the book, right? You want the book?
He looks to the book and then over towards Maria.
She is talking to Arvoidus. You see also, Antonio, Imelda is among the group of mortals who have had their memories rewritten.
Okay, that's good.
He nods.
Okay, so I saw you see the pills. I know that you know what those are. And I see the way that you're looking at the book like it's a lost lover. So I'm thinking that maybe all of us together could find a way to get one, if not both.
He looks back towards Maria. So long as it doesn't end up with her, I think we can make an arrangement.
Sure, so I'm thinking that maybe if we can start a little bit of a distraction, then maybe I can extract the book without anyone noticing.
Yeah, that would probably work. Okay.
Well, if I remember right, aren't you a bit of a magician?
I am, but I don't know. I really don't want to come off as suspicious here, because if she notices that something's missing and I was being suspicious, I might not make it another night. She's already on edge.
Oh, so you think that you're gonna get blamed for it?
Oh, I know I'm going to get blamed for it.
You know, for a thin blood, I get that. I see that.
That's why I'm happy to be a distraction at the very least, so I have some sort of plausible deniability here, but I need to be within her eyesight when this happens, I guess. But either way, I still might be blamed.
Oh, I kind of linked us together, too.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
I'm sure there's more pills out there. I wouldn't worry about it for now.
That's not what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned that she has them. I don't need them. I need her to not have them.
Okay, so new plan. What if we let the book leave here, but we just find out where it's going?
That's fair. No one's actually purchased it in the auction.
Yep, it'll probably be put back in storage, assuming Maria can find someone to do that.
All right.
She's not the one running the auction, is she?
No, exactly. So that's why she doesn't have access to the storage right now, so.
Oh, yeah.
But the staff is all dead.
Well.
Does kind of kill the show a little bit. Okay. So, maybe we let this blow over, but maybe we find out where the book's headed next?
It's probably for the best.
Okay. Well, Chaz kind of twitches her shadow at it, because she kind of still wants to grab it. But she'll let it go.
Okay.
Don't want to cause too much of a scene.
Mars, how are you handling Reggie?
She's beside herself. She's happy to see that Reggie is still unalive, but
Good.
But I think next steps after kind of like seeing that your conscious Reggie is like, we need to feed you. We need to get you the means of healing. But again, it's like there's not really an opportunity for that right now. So
there's a lot of blood on the floor.
there's a lot of blood on the floor.
Yeah, just put me on the ground and I'll go around like a Roomba. I got the open mouth and everything, you know?
Is that so then maybe that scene plays out where she's like, we need to get you food. We need to get you blood. We need to get you blood. There's no priests around here.
Palma, are you done with the thug?
Doesn't know anything.
I think at that point, Antonio will pull a knife out from his suit jacket pocket and just slice the throat and shove Reggie's head underneath.
Are you over by us? Because we're like in the back of the room.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, we kind of just came in.
You can bring the thug down. Yeah.
All right, so I'll grab the thug's floppy corpse by the hair and just shove it in Reggie's face and just walk out.
Let me ask you an honest question, Antonio, to answer me honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that this thug is under the influence of some drug and probably domination as well, might you consider them an innocent in this conflict? Even with your harm compulsion, the Antonio underneath, would he regret the possibility of killing them?
Knowing that they could be compelled to do it, I would say the smallest part of him, yes.
Okay.
So I'll take that spicy stain.
Well, let's look at your convictions as well. If any of those might reduce this stain for you. You can tell me no, but
Well, I have to take care of family.
How protective does Antonio feel over Reggie?
Well, I feel like Antonio was given charge to kind of wrangle Reggie,
Sure.
for lack of a better term. And I think there is a sense of protectiveness.
Then I will reduce that stain in service of your conviction. And the twinge of regret that you feel as you slit this man's throat is swiftly swallowed by the satisfaction of ending his life. The beast is pleased.
I watched the light leave his eyes.
Flop him over Reggie. Reggie, a nice warm gush of arterial blood sprays down your throat. You may reduce yourself to, let's say you may take off 2 hunger before it starts to trickle down to nothing. And if you like, you may care to wait. You may also start trying to rouse your blood to mend your wounds.
There's a lot of blood to drink, so.
Which may be, and I'll offer this, that might be just like a reflexive thing more than something Reggie thinks about. But
yeah, I
as the
think it's
blood
going
is
to be
coming in-
reflexive. Reggie doesn't know how to do that, like on command.
So go ahead and make a rouse check.
Radical.
Go up 1 hunger. Leave it to you if you want to keep trying, but with 1 rouse check, you mend 1 superficial damage, so you can clear 1 slash mark off your track. And Mars, as the body, the blood drains from the man's neck, and you pull him off of Reggie, you see their flesh of their face starting to boil and reconstruct itself. Not by any means coming close to having a full face again, but like you see bone regrowing and flesh stitching itself over the patch as the undead form attempts to correct this grievous wound. Maybe the fangs probably pop back in first from the top of their mouth.
Yeah, the teeth are regrowing back into the mouth.
Yeah, it's bad to
It's
look
brutal.
at. It's not fun. But you perhaps are grimly fixated on it.
As you lay this body on top of Reggie, she would look up. And Tony, you would notice that her eyes are kind of glazed over, and she looks at you with concern, like, is he like Catholic or like religious? Oh, it's working. And just kind of be amazed as Reggie's face is starting to reconstruct itself.
I think he notices, he sees you talking to yourself, but he's not occupied with that right now.
That's fine.
Your harm compulsion will end, Antonio,
Yeah.
after you kill this man.
He feels that weight fall off, but I think right now he's leaving the room.
Okay. Mars, yeah, as well as as Reggie's face is starting to reconstruct, you're sort of seeing glimpses of another. Reggie is beautiful, and you're sort of in this liminal space, and you start to see flashes of different eyes, different nose, the edges of a thick beard. Not sure what will be there when they finish mending.
It's okay. He's okay. And her eyes are shifting back and forth.
I try again to do another rouse check, and I fail that one too. We're back up to 4 hunger.
Okay. You may clear another superficial damage. Yep. The wounds keep mending. After 2 clears, you have a jaw. That's all you have.
I think you can already see that it's not. I mean, and Jonas, you could correct me if this just isn't a thing. I don't think it's healing. There is a huge scar there now. And
sure.
Reggie's jaw will be permanently disfigured after this, I think.
What would normally happen is you might have the scar and it would fade the next night.
I think with Reggie as well, there's something wrong with Reggie's power, and
Sure.
there's something wrong with their siring. So I can imagine that even with this, it's not perfect.
Okay, yeah, let that ride.
While Antonio and Mars are kind of hanging over Reggie, Mathias is kind of still back towards the stage where the auction was being taken place, and he is just going to kind of make his way out into the hall and just sit against the wall out there.
You try to leave the room where Maria Palma is?
Oh, good point. I'm going to just by the door then.
Okay, you are by the door. Antonio, you go in the hall.
Is Lavinia still there?
No, Lavinia... actually, yeah, no, after helping Mars in, she went back out to watch the door. She nods at you as you come out.
You're a god, alright?
I am.
Want to help me clean up this mess?
Well, your attack dog told me to watch the door.
Does the attack dog know who you are?
Well, we make our haven on a large white ship parked quite gaudily in the harbor, so I think it's hard to miss.
Then she should know that your skills are better suited in here.
You're Stregano, aren't you?
I am. I believe you know my mother.
She looks down, you see, like cops are in the building. They will be here any minute. And there's still a pool of blood under the floor from where Reggie was. And she's like, you and yours should get out if you can. You weren't registered for this event, even if you came under a different name. Take the corpse and find another room to hide. I'll cover for you with the dog.
I'll remember this. Thank you.
You will?
May I ask your name?
I'm Luvinia.
Antonio.
It's a pleasure. She'll shake your hand even. She's a firm grip.
And Antonio will reciprocate.
And, all right. She'll go back inside. She'll help clean up a little bit. You see Maria Palma cast a sour glance, but then, like, as you said, she kind of thinks about it and is like, all right. What are you guys doing?
Mathias is still against the wall.
I will jump in and say that I think Chaz is a little bit conflicted because she doesn't do well with cops.
No, in fact, if the cops find you specifically, they will be quite upset.
You know what? I don't do very well with mugshots, so it's going to be a little bit of a problem. So she's definitely starting to get a little bit antsy about wanting to get out of here, but she is also very interested in this book. I think canonically it's safe to say that she knows what the blue pills are. Is that fair?
Oh, yeah, no, you know for sure, yeah. It's definitely the same stuff.
You've been red-pilled on the blue pill.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Like, on the podcast, we know that. I don't know, like, if she would exactly know what the book is, but, like, if everybody seems to want it, then so does she.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if I could possibly do some eavesdropping on Maria Palma to see if I can figure out, like, at least what she's planning next. Like, if she's talking about anything important out of earshot.
Sure.
Because I do have shadow perspective.
Sure,
So
yeah.
if I can see a shadow near her, maybe I can listen in a little bit.
Yeah, all right. What do we have to roll for shadow perspective?
That would be one rouse check.
One rouse check, and then your senses just emanate from the shadow, so then you can just hear. Cool. Yeah, you make a rouse check.
Here we go.
And you don't have to roll wits awareness. You're in her shadow. You can just hear her talking to our voidus. You hear her muttering. She says, like, thanks for your help. Is there any reason you're here and not Goga? And you hear our voidus respond, Goga is occupied with other matters. The Oculus. And Palma says, fucking Oculus, who gives a shit? All right, look, this book, it's got something that those fucking abortions want.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
That's a real word for thin bloods. That's in the book. She says, take it back to the Chantry. I want to know what Goga can tell me about it. And Arvoidus nods and says, it will be done. And I will say, Chaz, you know, Victor Goga is the Tremere Primogen in the city. And although he is secretive, it is not impossible that he might share his findings with the other Primogen, Olga included.
Chastity and Meghan are both furiously scribbling notes right now.
He certainly will update them on the existence of the book, if not necessarily all of its contents. So you may be able to get some information from Olga later about it.
Perfect.
Okay. Then in that case, will we take Luvinia's offer and try to get out before the cops arrive?
I believe so.
Right.
I mean, Mathias needs to be told what to do here. He does not know of this offer, and if he sees everybody start to leave, like, he's gonna probably stay.
Yeah, I mean, Antonio's the only one who heard it, so it's up to Antonio to clue everyone in. But Reggie, I'll also say, with your fangs coming in first, you may slake a final one hunger off the dead man before he is drained.
Woo! All right.
It's good to see you up and at 'em, but we need to go.
Oh, are you talking to me? You want me to role play?
Well, Rachel and, Mars and Reggie.
I was gonna say, Mars is just like eyes locked on Reggie at this point. Body language different than it was a little bit before, but you come over and she doesn't acknowledge you at first.
I think as Reggie starts to stir a little bit more, they kind of realize the position that he's in and looks up, sees you clinging tightly to him, and they just kind of push away from you.
Yeah, sure.
Wanting to not, and they just, almost like an animal wanting to get away. Just kind of like on all fours slink over to that guy, bite into his neck as if it's just instinct, and start to drink him down in loud gulps.
She lets you go, definitely. And she's just kind of watching you. Like, she's not doing anything. She's just, but whatever. But she's kind of sitting where she was as Antonio comes over and says it's time to go. I guess once you say that, she's like, yeah, we can go. What do we gotta do?
All right, follow me.
Mars picks herself up. She'll offer Reggie a hand once they're done feeding to kind of just help you stand up.
Mathias
looks up.
Come.
Fine. I think as Mathias gets up, yeah, he's got no willpower. He's going to shoulder pass you, Antonio.
Antonio pays it no mind.
Chastity, you see your charges leaving?
Oh, I'm pretty quick to follow. I was leaving anyways, so I might as well leave with them. I would like to get out of here before any officers show up. So I just I give them a little bit of a wave and a, hey, wait up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You see Maria Palma does look up, and she looks angry, but as promised, Luvinia kind of interjects and presumably offers some justification why this is actually a good idea. Chaz, you maybe hear a little bit of the conversation as you withdraw from your shadow perspective, and you hear Luvinia explaining, you hear kind of the middle of a sentence of they'll be under much more heavy questioning than the rest of us since they're here on behalf of your primogen, I believe. So it's for the best that they, and then you withdraw. I would like for everyone to roll me composure plus stealth. And this is just sort of a group roll. See how we all get out of the building without being spotted.
Oh boy.
4 of you are heavily covered in blood, which you can stop at a bathroom to wash off some of, but cannot get out of your clothes.
1 for Mathias.
Could I you can tell me no.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
No, what is it?
I was going to say, would ashes to ashes do anything in this situation to destroy the blood?
Huh.
Because it's used for corpses, but it says no traces left behind, which means the blood gets destroyed as well.
Well, it disintegrates into ash.
We just look like a bunch of chimney sweeps.
That's kind of interesting. Yeah, that's so funny. I don't know how to deal with that. Let's say yes, because it's more interesting, and it'll make you hungry. Go ahead and make...
Might make him hungry.
Let's see. Go ahead and make... Mathias has very little blood on him comparatively. Actually, it's mostly on his hands, so...
I can take off my gloves.
He can take it off and wash off most of it. I'm going to say you don't need to do Mathias, so give me 3 rouse checks.
All right.
For each of you.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Okay.
One more.
3 rouse checks for each of us.
No, one for each of you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I panicked.
You've only done 2, though. 1 more.
Yeah, make 9 rouse checks for me, Antonio.
Are there any other corpses in this room that I could just have a quick little sippy poo off of?
You know what? No. But what I will say is, if you're not willing to expend more vitae, you could probably wrap a heavy coat around. Like, if Chaz is willing to let Mars keep her coat, she could probably wrap it tight and cover up most of the blood that way, and you could stop with you and Reggie. Or have someone walk out shirtless.
I think Reggie's pretty clean right now.
No.
Well, I have my own coat. Can I put my own coat over after doing my own?
I will allow you that. There was probably a coat check or a rack somewhere. So you dab a few drops of your vitae on the bloodstains. The reaction sizzles and blood dries and flakes into ash. You pull your coats tight And make those composure stealth rolls, please, for everyone. Who is everyone rolled? Oh, everyone did roll. Never mind. You're great. I love you.
Yes, I got a 2.
2 for Reggie, 1 for Mathias, 2 for Mars, 3 for Chaz, Antonio last. Oof. All right, so that's a total of 4, 6.
I do
8.
have one more willpower left.
Those are all hunger dice.
You can't. Yeah, you only got
you're
hunger
right.
dice.
Shoot.
However, on a total of 9 successes across your pool, I was calling that a sort of collective difficulty of 8.
Wonderful.
So you are able to sort of hide and sneak your way out of the building, avoiding the notice of cops, although not necessarily the notice of all witnesses. So there may be consequences down the line, perhaps video footage.
What's a little masquerade breach amongst friends?
Everything.
Oh, you think we're friends?
And with that, let me just ask then, last question, where are we going now? Are we going to split up or are we going back to Olga?
We are bringing the smoke with us, right?
No,
We have-
that's going to get shipped to her.
It's going to get shipped to her.
It's going to get shipped to her, assuming it doesn't get seized,
Yeah, okay.
which Maria Palma seemed to want to prevent from happening. So hopefully it'll get shipped to her.
Then I would imagine we would go back to her just to report.
I encourage it.
Everyone good with that?
Sounds good.
Fine.
Then, hungry, tired, and some of us injured, our coterie exits downtown, makes their way back to their vehicles, and heads off to Olga's office to report back about a job well done. And so closes another chapter of Midnight Gravity. Thank you all for listening and playing. Once again, we have some special announcements to begin with.
Hey everyone, Casey here. Please stick around for these plugs because we have some really cool, exciting things coming up, and there's a lot of them. So we're going to go ahead and start off with an update for our GoFundMe.
Yes, we have surpassed both of our original goals, and we've updated to a new goal.
New goal!
Woo! Quick thank you to the following for your support. Diane Quinn,
Jim Auger.
Thanks, Jim.
LES,
Connor Reardon. Thank you, my brother.
Max Mogul,
Hi, Max. Thank you.
Daniel Paul.
Francis P. Frost,
Cameron Sullivan.
Christopher Wiley,
Austin Nebbia.
Anne Reardon,
Thanks, Mom. David Keller.
and Lori Frost. As per our new goal, we are updating our amount to potentially support our official convention debut at the Long Island Tabletop Expo 2024. In 2024.
Funding for this goal helps support our starting marketing at conventions and getting the necessary materials together to make this and future events a success.
All the events.
Oh, every single one.
All of them. Every single one. As a 2024 GoFundMe supporter, in addition to the merch store discount for the people who support with 25 or more, anyone who has donated and finds us at a convention will receive a special gift as an additional thanks for your support for coming out to the show and seeing us.
We are so grateful for your endless support. And again, we are
Absolutely
so
incredible
excited
to
to
see.
see what the future holds. Thank you so much,
Thank
everybody.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Woo! Excitement.
Joy, bewilderment.
Yeah!
And now our-
Crazy.
Now our regular plugs.
Back to our regularly scheduled plugs.
But still listen, because these are important.
Yeah, there's still more stuff.
What is some of that stuff, Casey?
Well, on February 15th at 9 p.m. Eastern, we are celebrating our 500 followers on Instagram with a live stream on Instagram Live, as well as cross-streaming on Twitch.
Woo!
We're going to be playing Save the Date, which was created by our own lovely Jonas Tintenseher.
Yeah, Jonas.
It's true. I made it.
And it's going to be run by Rachel. So
Yeah, Rachel.
if you want
Run
to
by
see
me.
Rachel run another game, go follow us on Instagram at RPJesters and watch the live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern on February 15th. If you can't make the live stream itself, it'll be put up on YouTube after the fact, so you can also follow
Check
us
out
on
our
YouTube to see it
YouTube.
later.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Expect the chaos.
I am also going to be guesting on another stream. This one is for the RPG Academy podcast and their Twitch stream on February 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it's going to be about an hour or so, but at the very end of it, there is live Q&A. So if you want to ask questions, you're going to have to be there for the actual stream.
Get that guest spot. Woo!
Guest spot.
Rachel.
I actually have some cool things to shout out as well.
Ooh.
Yeah. So on Wednesday, February 14th, this is just kind of the drop date.
Valentine's Day.
For it. Valentine's Day, baby.
Get your boo.
Get your boo, sit down and listen to The Table Business. It is a TTRPG Insider podcast from the creators of Sounds Like Adventure, another actual play that you also should check out. But basically the podcast, they sit down and do like one-on-one interviews with TTRPG creators. And I happened to do an interview with them. So
nice.
If you want to go ahead and take a listen to that episode, of course, it is a podcast, so you can listen to it whenever, but it drops this Wednesday, Valentine's Day. Woo!
Do you talk about romance?
No.
Oh.
But also, where we may talk about romance, actually, I don't know. I'm also guesting on a Night Witches stream on the Twitch channel Ain't Got Crit. That is AINTGOTCRIT. On February 18th at 6:30 p.m. It is an actual play stream. Come on over, hang out, watch us get into some Night Witchy stuff. It's a really cool TTRPG that I'm really excited to get to experience with these people. Thank you to the Tabletop Collective for getting it together and making this all happen. I'm very excited about it.
Love that community.
Love that community.
I'm so jealous. Night Witches is so cool.
And that's all for me for now.
Also, check out our socials.
Also, check out our socials.
Yeah,
also, check out my socials. Rachel Kordell at KC_Reardon.
Speaking of guest spots, our special guest, Meghan, anything to plug?
Recommend this podcast to all of your friends. Follow them on all the socials.
Yeah.
And also you can find me at Hello Meghan Martin.
Thank you. Andrew?
You
You can plug the TikTok if you want.
It's, you know what when I think vampires, I think the hit Kesha song from like 2009, TikTok, because why not? They're in the club just like vampires are sometimes, like in the beginning of Blade. And you should go follow on TikTok, because why not?
Oh my god.
Gigi's so good.
You're so good at
buddy.
plugging.
You're so good. Also, the threads.
Oh yeah, threads too. Yeah, socials. We're on socials. We post good stuff.
Pox posted some good stuff.
Just like the cords in Reggie's neck.
Talk to Pox. Maybe she'll give you some clues about the Chronicle.
Oh yeah, he's a good talker.
Reggie?
Well, Reggie doesn't have much to plug.
Sorry, Sky.
His jaw is missing a little bit.
I'm in it. I'm sorry, I'm in it.
But hey, do you not have a jaw either? Are you missing the ability to speak? Well, we might have a small solution for you. Get on that old keyboard and start typing. Just type in stuff randomly. Eventually, you'll find a URL through all your typing there that'll lead you to our something to leave a review for us on. And there, you might even continue to start randomly typing until eventually you leave us a 5-star review. And tell us how you thought of the podcast, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Well, don't leave what you didn't like about it, but you can message that to us privately, and maybe we'll change it. That way, then you could give only a positive review in your 5-star review.
And at the end of your...
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Didn't have a transition for that one.
Good night.
Good night.
Segue.
Go tomorrow. Good
No, good night.
Yeah.
I had to house sit Casey's closet.
Yeah, gotta have someone. If there's not someone in the closet at all times,
It gets really mad.
It gets cold,
really
which is a
mad. It
bad
gets
thing,
hungry.
apparently.